Coming up on Transitions, a song from Marty Robbins, plus a tribute to my favorite ball player of all time. Roll intro. There, Sully here, the retired tanky anchor. Welcome to Transitions. If you're new here, welcome, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. And if you're a return visitor and not yet subscribed, there's no time like now. And be sure to hit that thumbs up button, or thumbs down for that matter. It doesn't make a difference to me. Either one helps. But as always, thanks to my loyal subscribers. Now, as you can see, I'm still in my pajamas. It's an ungodly hour, but when you're retired, time really doesn't mean the same thing. It's early. In a few hours, I'll be off to the pool and Ambler for my daily workout, and I will probably eat a light breakfast before I do that, but for right now, it's time for coffee. Oh, and hey, in these monologues, I know you only see my head and shoulders. So, you see me in my pajamas here, I could be naked from the waist down. Alright, that's too much information. Rest assured that I am fully dressed, albeit in my sleeping attire. But, that's retirement for you. You get to spend the day in pajamas if you are so inclined. Before I get started with this video, I need to tell you that I come to you with a heavy heart today. As you probably know by now, I am a passionate Phillies fan. Well, on Monday of this past week, my favorite ball player of all time, not just my favorite Phillies player, my favorite ball player of all time, passed away. It would be Dick Allen. He died of cancer at the age of 78. Allen had a lifetime batting average of .292 and hit 319 home runs in his career. He was Rookie of the Year in 1964, a member of that Phillies team that almost won the pennant. I was only 7 years old at the time, but I still remember that. He was in 7 All-Star games. Now, as a person, he was misunderstood, and that was probably because he just wanted to be treated as a ball player. There was still blatant racism in baseball back then. It had been less than 20 years since Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. And Allen was labeled as a troublemaker, probably because he liked to go out and have a cold beer once in a while. Well, a lot of ball players did that, but he being a high-profile African-American ball player, he was under much more scrutiny. He was friendly with his teammates, players like Johnny Callison, Tony Taylor, Tony Gonzalez, Johnny Briggs. They were close friends with him, but there was a publicized incident. I told you it was early. Publicized incident with teammate Frank Thomas. And the media painted Allen as the instigator. Claimed that he was creating disaffection on the ball club. What had happened was Thomas was constantly picking on Allen, using racial insults, racial slurs, and one day he came at him with a bat. Well, Allen, being that tough kid from Wampum, PA, he wanted to give Thomas a fair one. The media sided with Thomas, but the players sided with Allen, and Thomas was traded. After the 1969 season, Allen was traded to the Cardinals, the famous Curt Flood trade. Now that brought Tim McCarver, Joe Horner, Dick Selma to Philadelphia, but Curt Flood never reported. Flood never played again, of course, but his stance paved the way for the elimination of the dreaded reserve clause from professional baseball contracts and paved the way for what we now know as the era of free agency. In his career, Allen also played for the Dodgers and White Sox before retiring after the 1974 season. But in 1975, Mike Schmidt and Larry Bowa and Richie Ashburn all paid a visit to Allen at his Bucks County horse farm and coaxed him out of retirement. When Allen came back to the Phillies, it was 180 degrees from what it had been. The fans loved him. He played the remainder of the 75 season and the entire 76 season before finally retiring and getting back to his love of racing horses and raising horses. 1976, by the way, was his only postseason appearance when the Phillies played that now historical NL Championship Series against the Dodgers. Now this past year, with the pandemic in full swing, the Phillies retired his number 15, which was a deviation from the team's policy of only retiring a player's number after they make the Hall of Fame. The only other exception was for Richie Ashburn, whose number was retired before his election to the Hall of Fame. And Ashburn was fortunate enough to be inducted into the Hall of Fame before his death in 1996, but I guess Allen is not going to get to see that. The case for Allen being in the Hall of Fame is very strong, and now that it's gone, hopefully that wrong will be righted and soon. So, rest in peace, Crash. But now, on with the song. Today's song is a Marty Robbins song that I've done before, but it was more than a year ago, so I guess I'll do it again. It's a classic gunfighter song, and it's one of Robbins' best. It's called Big Iron. So here we go.
The town of our freedom, where the stranger will find me. Hard to smoke, the folks around him didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make the slip. Stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. Came riding from the south side, so looking all around. He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from his lip. And he's here to do some business with a big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. In this town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Ray. Many men had tried to take him, and that many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, though a youth of 24. And the notches on his pistol numbered 194. 194. The stranger started talking, made it plain to folks around. Was an Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back to life, maybe dead. He said it didn't matter, but he was after Texas Ray. After Texas Ray. Wasn't long before the story was relayed to Texas Ray. But the outlaw didn't worry, but he tried before we're dead. 20 men had tried to take him, 20 men had made a slip. 21 would be the Ranger with a big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. Now the morning passed so quickly and it was time for them to leave. It was 20 past 11 when they walked out in the street. Folks were watching from the windows, everybody held their breath. Knew this handsome Ranger was about to meet his death. About to meet his death. It was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make their play. And the swiftness of the Ranger still talked about today. Texas red and night, clear leather for a bullet
the day, Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead was doing a sort of a side project with a band called Kingfish. And on their first album, they included this song. Now, of course, I had heard Marty Robbins' version. It had been out for many years, but when I heard the version done by Bob Weir and Kingfish, I gained a new appreciation for the song. And, I hope you like my cover of that. It's a great song. For Transitions, this is Sully, the retired tank anchor. Safe and happy travels.